Hey everyone, welcome to our first pilot episode of Stark Talks. I am Mebin Matthew,
I'm Philip Thomas.
And I'm Sasha Chauhan.
and we are the co-founders of Stark Enterprises. So, going off of the addressing the elephant in the room, I guess we could talk about who we are individually. What we do and all of that. So first, I guess I'll go. My name is again Mebin Matthew. I am 19 years of age. I just turned 19 this month. And I go to University of York for computer engineering, and I'm heading into my second year. Philip, do you want to continue?
Sure. I'm also heading into my second year for computer engineering at York. I'm also 19, and
Okay, and my name is Sasha. So I'm also almost 19, which recording this probably tomorrow. And my go to York University, and the program I'm in is computer engineering, like same as these guys.
Yeah, we completely forgot about that, Shashwat. Happy early birthday, first of all. I guess your
Thank you
birthday
so
will
much.
be celebrated over the podcast.
Yes, thank you.
So I guess the first question we had prepared was, what is Stark? What are we? And what are the different things, the different ideas that we have in mind on where we're going to take Stark Enterprises?
Yeah, I think I can start on with that.
Go ahead.
So just basically like Stark, like people probably have known us from maybe Stark Tutors, that project we ran. So Stark is just basically a team that we started, and we basically aim on doing different projects. So maybe like Philip, Mabin, you guys can talk about Stark Tutors, and other things like what are we doing of going forward, including the Stark podcast, and
Mhm.
that's basically the outline. So
with Stark Tutors, Shasha just brought that up. It was something that we did over the past month, and it was mainly focusing on the high schoolers transitioning from high school to university, specifically for the engineering program. We also did have attendees that were in grades like 10, 11 who were interested in the program and the field of engineering and just wanted to get to know a bit more about it. So what we did was we had approximately four courses, and we conducted crash courses for all of them. Some of them were like calculus, physics, linear algebra, different coding languages, and so on. And we were able to conduct crash courses over the online platform as we were not able to meet up due to COVID and all the lockdown and things that were going on. And we were able to successfully pull it off, and we had a good attendance. And we were able to get good reviews as well from the people that we mentored. And we hope to continue it in the coming years, but we also plan on looking into expanding it into different fields and so on.
Yeah, I feel like that Stark Tutors was definitely our first initial project, and as Philip said, it was definitely a big success considering that we were able to do it with virtually zero cost. Because one, we made our own website, we were able to publish it online. We had an Instagram page, we had a Facebook contact page, we were able to advertise it pretty well. We had, I would say, well around 25, 30 people, right? If I'm not wrong.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Who were able to participate in it, and we tried it over specific platforms. It was a bit iffy, but then eventually we got the hang of it, and we were able to improve our interactions with the students, and we were able to end it since it was a crash course, we had to kind of focus on that crash course element of it. We had to finish it in 2 weeks, and I believe it was a really great event that went down, and I believe most of the reviews proved to be fruitful. Like all the courses went really well. We had feedbacks. We know what to improve on, what worked, what didn't, and we look forward to how it's going to turn out next year. Another thing that we're working on again is, I kind of mentioned it, is our website. Just to give everyone detail, us three, we had zero knowledge on how the mainframes or what the objectives of making a websites were. We had no idea on how HTML, CSS, PHP, JavaScript, or any of that worked. But due to this quarantine, or due to this peculiar times, we were able to finally get out of our comfort zone and put together our minds to learn coding, understand how HTML, JavaScript, and how web development, all of that comes together. And we were able to put together a proper website. And again, we are updating our website. So again, stay tuned for that. That's going to come out soon. And other than that, I'd say our future projects are, again, we're trying to focus more on hardware. We're trying to do different hardware projects. Speaking of hardware projects, Shashwat, do you want to talk about the one you just did for the assignment
Okay,
for the group?
yeah. So when we were thinking about hardware projects, we wanted to integrate it with our Start tutoring kind of idea. So we basically had some videos out on YouTube where we did Q&A sessions and maybe what Stark's about. That's basically the core material. But then we wanted to integrate as well that engineering is not just about written work, it's also about a lot of practical things that we got to do. So that's why we decided to make a really simple project which can be done by everyone at home. We just need some supplies, and so we decided to make like a mini Cybertruck. We just used simple at home, like available online products like the Arduino boards and wires and simple tires and stuff to make a robot car. And I guess the videos can be found on YouTube, and then people can follow those videos. And if they want to make their own robot car at home or something like that, they can do that.
Exactly.
Speaking of projects, like this is one of our projects. So podcast. You can like find it on YouTube, and it's also linked on our website. So we can talk more about what's our vision with Start Podcast, and we can talk about that and what we want to do with this.
So I would so I would say the goal with Start Podcast is not just to have three of us on at all times just talking about our experiences, but rather bring on current engineers in different fields, right? So that we can all get into experience in a feel of the real world jobs and such things. We also have plans on bringing on students who are in our years and upper years, right? So you can learn from their experience how they went through the program, what they found difficult, what they found easy, their work ethics, and so on, so that we could our goal is to create an environment for all engineering students all across Ontario, and and the global reach is also our goal, right? Where we can all come together, help each other out, and successfully go through the program and turn out to be great engineers at the end.
I really liked how you put that together, because I feel like that kind of does put our project under a really good umbrella. I truly do believe that our program, or our Stark Enterprises, comes under the objective of kind of promoting STEM, or promoting engineering to students who are in high school, or anywhere, to be honest with you, because um, talking from my experience, I always had this bad stigma around engineering and STEM, because I always assumed it was like super hard, and it was only meant for like super smart people. And considering that I made it this far, I believe if you really put in work, and if you really have a passion for it, you can really do it. What do you guys think?
I would say to an extent we all are on that same boat. Like personally speaking, I was all for the med field, and engineering was to me was just a program with a lot of math courses. And I saw the engineering students as people who just sit and study day and night, have no fun in life. But then here I am going into my second year for computer engineering, right? I can like proudly say that that is not the lifestyle, that is not the stigma around engineering students, and like the field of engineering is not real to many extents. And as Shasha previously said, like the practical element of like the projects that we're doing and things like that, right? That obviously brings out the entertainment, and like that helps us it helps us express, I would say, our creativity more, to discover new things that maybe like some things that we're currently working on, or like things that we see are currently needed in our society but are not out yet. So we're trying to like process that, brainstorm on that, build ideas, prototypes, and so on, and like create a final product. So I would say engineering is not just books and memorizing notes, but rather it's more of the practical element going out into the real field. And then like I think we can also talk about co-op later on. That's one benefit of engineering that I've seen in many what's it called, in many universities. They're also offering co-op. I think we could talk about that too in a bit.
Okay, so like I think Philip's point of like having fun with engineering and like that's basically our vision behind all of these projects that we do, is just that bringing out like the real experiential activities and like having like fun with engineering is basically like what we want to do with these projects and what we're trying to figure out. And having like people over, they can have, we can talk about engineering, talk about different fields, and maybe like get more people interested in this engineering field. People who think like maybe like Philip saying, like people who think it's math related stuff. Uh, Basically, like if we have upper years over in our podcast and teachers, professors, they can tell different things and have like a different idea basically what engineering is.
Yeah, you're right. Again, referring to what Shash was saying, we again heavily, since we're more of a free service, we heavily rely on feedback. So people who listen to this podcast, which is you, if you do listen to this, please do provide us with feedback on ways we could improve. On who do you think we should get on board with our podcast? Who do you want to see on here talking? And we will definitely try our best to come in contact and try to talk to them. And if you would like to provide us with feedback, please visit us on our Instagram page and our social medias, which we will be promoting shortly. So we're going to be moving on to the next topic. A few things we wanted to discuss on, since again, this is our pilot episode, is some of the few trending topics in technology. So I don't know about you guys, but I recently watched an MKBHD video. MKBHD is a very famous tech review YouTuber, and he introduced a Boston Dynamics robot called Spot. I watched the video. I was, I guess, intrigued because that robot had very lifelike movements. I believe it was the objective of the robot was to get surveillance or have the ability to reach places where a human cannot reach. Anyone want to
Yeah,
elaborate?
yeah, like I feel like that robot is like, it's kind of scary to know that something like that could exist, right? But like as you said, like very like movements, it's like the surveillance part of it is probably the best, right? So like just like having like to go somewhere maybe, right? So like if we can go somewhere maybe like in a forest or something, like I saw in his video, like he talked about where like you can have this where like humans can't really go.
Right.
And like I just have a question for you guys. Do you guys like think if like it's wildly available, like for example in like let's say in 5 to 10 years this thing becomes a little bit cheaper, do you think people will actually get it?
I think it depends. It obviously not the common people wouldn't get it. I feel like it would be more of for the wealthy class, because currently it's like what, $74,500 USD. Even if over the years it does get cheaper, it's not going to get cheaper to like a bad to a lower price range, I would say. And I would actually, like, if one could afford, I would say go for it, because as Shash was saying, like, what's it called, the surveillance aspect, right? There's a limit to how much normal cameras on walls or like on different like areas could like surveil could cover, I would say. Whereas like something that's moving such as the Spot robot, it could cover different levels of the ground and like different areas and so on. So I would say, like, if one could afford, yeah, I'm pretty sure people would go for it.
In my opinion, I feel like it would be completely useless in like a commercial way. No.
Yeah,
Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Here.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I know that was very straightforward, but I'm my bad. So I meant that because I was watching the video and it only has like a 90-minute battery life, and you have to charge. If you look at the battery cells, those things are huge. They're crazy huge.
But
And
would you say this is the first prototype, like the first version of this?
oh no, the first versions were like, I believe, like years ago. They showed it like
Oh, so this is
videos
the
of it.
final. This is like the final
yeah,
full-on production,
yeah, this is what they're going for, yeah, to like
and
the
they only have
first
90
version.
minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, only 90 minutes of tower time. And the thing is, it's not like I believe if it's more fully automated, it would be a bit more commercial because at this point, I believe someone has to be behind the control, has to help walk it around and all of that. It has
Mhm.
the ability to flip himself over if it does fall, but I feel like automation is where the industry is going towards, and I feel if they're able to incorporate an automation um aspect to Spot, I feel like it would definitely be more viable in the commercial industry than
And
the
that would,
industrial.
and I'm pretty sure that would also double the price tag that's currently there.
Uh, Currently, like I believe, I'm not guaranteeing, but I think it's listed at like $70,000.
74.
Holy.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a hefty price. Like I feel like it's more for like you said, like maybe someone like the cops, like maybe FBI or something like that. They might use it in the U.S. Like for them, maybe it's a viable option. But like normal people, as Mabin said, I don't see a use for it unless it's maybe much smaller, gives you more battery time, and like maybe cheaper as well, like around like $1,000, like your smartphone. So like
Yeah, for
I feel
sure.
like it's
yeah,
more like surveillance based. Surveillance and
yeah,
exploration, I would say.
yeah,
But
exploration.
but
Yeah.
then like when you brought up the point of like the 90-minute surveillance cap, right?
Right.
Like for $74,000, I don't see the worth now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know of the time cap that was there. I thought it would last at least like a day or so.
Oh no. I wish.
yeah, like even like the prototypes they had before, like you probably like if you follow Boston Dynamics for like a really long time, this was a long time coming. Like as for like there's been like at least like 4 or 5 prototypes of this robot. So like to even get to this level, it's taken them at least like 10 to 20 years.
Mhm.
So hopefully like they can proceed faster, like with like the better battery, maybe more time. Like
No,
I
but
feel like yeah,
considering where they are right now, I feel no, I haven't exactly kept up with Boston Dynamics, but like I was considering where they were and where they are right now, it's definitely a huge improvement. Like
uh,
considering the complexity, like there's like so many arrays of cameras on it. There's multiple sensors. There's different things that has to work together and very precisely for Spot to move the way Spot is moving and for Spot to function the way it's functioning. So I feel like it's definitely like a significant like curve that they've been up. I believe that they have the potential, but again, it's still I'm pretty sure they're going the right way.
But they also have been like I was looking into it a little bit more and just figured out how they have been in R&D for 28 years,
Yes, they
right?
have
yep,
been.
yep, they
So
happen.
for a company that has been working on a product for 28 years and to come out with such a price tag, I don't think any time in the near future that price tag is going to drop.
Definitely
Yeah,
not.
definitely not.
So the usage and like the people who can use it, like the target customer audience, like I'm not sure who that specifically directed to at this point, because with
Hmm.
like the short recording time gap and all that stuff.
Right.
But it's an interesting product for sure.
It
Like
definitely is.
the take they have on it is actually pretty cool.
Again, well, I guess we can move on to the next topic is recently Trump announced that he wanted to ban TikTok because it posed a security threat to the U.S. Considering that, what do you guys think? What is your take on that topic, or other apps that you think that might concern, like might pose a security threat?
So like I think that TikTok ban is like huge for like apps around the world and like software developers. So like like people like in China like who develop these apps, right? They have to be careful next time like when because they're gonna be developing more apps and stuff. And even people here. So for example, if we decide to go into software industry, we might be working with some apps or some softwares like that. So we have to take into account the security aspects that every country is trying to uh trying to have, like especially the US, like they feel like the app breaches a lot of things. So the ban is definitely interesting in the sense that like I just want to see like what new apps come from this ban.
Right.
I'm
Uh
pretty
huh.
like I know they're talking about Microsoft buying it or some other company, but I think Trump also said that even if American-based companies such like Apple or something like that, they even buy TikTok, there still might be security concerns. So it'll be interesting looking at who creates the second TikTok app or who
Well,
what happens with it.
well, like one thing right off the bat, like as the ban was announced, right? Like the talks of the ban was announced, Instagram was working on something called Instagram Reels. It's
Right.
Yeah,
already implemented into like all the Instagram versions, like the updates and stuff. So that's also another form of TikTok, but obviously on the Instagram platform, right? And when Trump was talking about the ban and like how he set an ultimatum, like sell the company by this date, right? Or
Right.
else get completely taken out of the market. I feel like the American economy really would benefit off getting complete control over what's it called, over TikTok. Uh,
TikTok, yeah.
but then again, it's such a big company, and it's not owned. It's not just owned by one franchise in China. It's owned by multiple different franchises. So even if they sell it, right, they wouldn't sell like the entire, what's it called? They wouldn't sell the entire company because no company currently could buy that out, right? It just doesn't have line cash like that to buy it out.
Right.
They would have to buy out a component. Then again, as Shasha said, even if one company, like even if Apple or Microsoft buys out just that portion, the concept of security threats still exists because it's still linked to the bigger company.
Correct. I hear that. But the thing, if we were to look across seas, China doesn't have companies or platforms that we have freely available here. For example,
Yeah.
they don't have things like Instagram,
Or YouTube.
um, or YouTube. Exactly, because
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
Google's completely banned, I
Yep.
exactly,
believe. Yeah.
because they believe, I'm assuming, is also that these applications are security threats for that country itself. So, again, as Philip said, I believe it is right for the ban to go ahead. But then again, there are other softwares. For example, I believe Zoom had allegations like this accused on it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, but then one thing I noticed was the minute Zoom became popular with like the lockdown, everything going on to the online mode, Google invented something else too, right?
Google Meet, I believe.
Yeah, Google Meet. Yes, so that is becoming pretty well known too. Not many people know it because it's kind of hidden on, like, it's in Gmail. When you open up Gmail, you can see it on the left bottom corner, right? But now it's gaining a good popularity as well because it's free. I believe there's no plans. There's no pricing plans.
So it's just connected right to your email. So you just
Yeah,
like send an email, maybe click a button on your email. So
yeah.
I feel like something like that could happen with TikTok. Like as you said, like Instagram, like having their reels, right? Is kind of a similar idea to the meets, right?
Hmm.
Right.
So like companies like that, or maybe a new app approaches, right? Like for example, I believe TikTok was known as Musically before, so
Yep.
Yeah.
something like that, like comes back or something, or I don't know,
But then
like
also, like recently, guys, like one of the things right after the ban announcement came through, like TikTok announced like a $200 million fund for what's it called, like a payment type of thing, like a payment plan for like all the creators. So they already chose like 20, 30 creators like for their first batch, and they're paying them now. Before it was like ad and sponsorship based payments, like you would make money off TikTok if you were famous, right? But now TikTok is paying their creators
And why is that for?
because obviously Instagram Reels came out, and there was a big shift because everyone was like, there was some software updates, and like views disappeared, likes disappeared, follower count disappeared, right? So people thought TikTok was completely getting banned that day. So people started shifting over to Instagram Reels, right? That was one of the things that happened. So there's a good, like, initially when Instagram Reels started, like there was barely anyone on it, and not many people knew about it, right?
Right.
And then when this update issue and everything came up, like Instagram Reels just shot off, like skyrocketed with like
Mm-hmm.
the people that transitioned into it. So obviously TikTok, to keep the big creators like Charlie D'Amelio, her sister, all the big like 60, 70 million follower count like peoples, right? They obviously started paying them like a set amount.
Wait a minute. Can I? Who all has TikTok? Like, do both of you have TikTok?
no, I don't have TikTok.
Sadly, I'm on that platform, but I don't do much
Uh,
on it.
I'm definitely not on TikTok, but I feel like the thing with TikTok is what happened is, all the TikTok content has definitely appeared on Instagram, as Philip said, because of Reels. I definitely
Mhm.
see like all my my entire explore page is filled with reels that has the TikTok tag on the sides of it. So it's kind of like there's definitely that transition happening. People were definitely scared of it.
Yeah.
But I believe the app is still not banned. I believe it's still available.
No, it's
Uh,
still low. It's still low.
yeah. Apparently, Trump issued a 45-day warning
Yeah, it's
from
sometime in
August,
September, I think, right?
September, September. Yeah. So 45 days. Like, I don't know, like if it gets banned that day, but it's getting closer to that day for sure. But
But,
like,
but I believe Microsoft is in the talks, right, to buy
Yes,
yeah,
that
Microsoft
branch.
is in the
Microsoft
talks.
was in the
Yes.
talk to buy TikTok. Yes, I believe that.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, things like that. You're right, 100%. It like coming back to the topic of the security of it. It does pose like security threat considering it's from like an overseas application. Again, we do use other applications that are originated from overseas. We do most of our hardware. A lot of things like that originate overseas. So I feel like all of us are kind of in a security threat, but I guess we all are informed enough to know to keep our data safe and all of that network safety stuff. We do go through that. And
But
I
then,
guess, go
yeah,
ahead.
I have a question on that, right? You know, like how there's a security threat, like national level, when it's something overseas, right? But as an individual, right? When you sign up for Facebook, let's say, like you're giving full access to everything you post, all the information you put in to like the owners of Facebook, right? To the company. So they have full access to do whatever they want to do, and they have, like there's news, and there's issue like there has been issues and lawsuits before where people's pictures have been used in different countries on billboards, right? That Facebook sells because Facebook obviously collects data and they what's it called? They sell it over to different people, right? Different
Right,
countries.
right.
So like third party people, like they obviously sell it. So why can like a app that is obviously created in America do that? I understand like the concept of like the threat part, right? The security threat, but why are we still allowing apps made in America to do that? Because it is a threat to the users.
100%. But then again, that's where the terms and conditions, where we just
Yeah.
completely skip to the bottom and just see agree to terms and conditions, so we can get access to the app. That's where that concept comes in, right? uh, I believe Google CEO and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and all of them did have a sit down with the government and had a talk about like there's private information and all that security stuff. And I believe Facebook did incorporate that in their application. They do. There are options that allow us to stop Facebook from accessing our information. We can tell Facebook to take only so and so information. We don't have to give Facebook all of our information. There is access in Facebook to do that.
But
But
does it give you all the customized, like does it allow you to customize every concept aspect of it, or is it just few options that they provide?
what do you mean by that?
Like like let's say they can't take our like pictures or like our what's it called, like sometimes when you go over to different places, like you log into that location, right? You
Right.
say, oh, checked into this location, or like different searches that you do. Like obviously searches is one of the big things they use to see what products you like and like push it out that way so they can advertise, because Facebook advertising is a big thing nowadays, right?
Right.
So like, so do we get an option like a grip over saying no, you can't do this, you can't do this, or is it just few options that are given to you? Like you can't use my pictures, you can't like leak everything, or do you get the full control over your account? Is my question.
I believe the picture thing, buddy. The anything you post on the internet belongs to the internet. That's a rule that it's like a non-written rule. Everyone knows that. So if you post a picture on Facebook, it belongs to Facebook. That's how it is. It is what it is. But I believe the other one where the login information, where I would have people on my feed saying right now checked into so and so airport, heading to so and so. I believe you can control that, and your location information. I believe you can control that as well. So again, talking about network safety and security and all of that, we can head into our next topic, which is the big 5G networks. Um, and I believe everyone knows what 5G is. For people that doesn't know what 5G is, does anyone want to explain?
Yeah. Like, I'll go ahead. That's like 5G is basically like the new network stream that's coming in, the towers and all. Like, you probably heard a lot about. Uh, you probably have 4G if you have data. So 5G is basically the newer, faster data version of that. Like that's like putting it into simple terms, not going into like the definition and all that. But I feel like what we want to talk about this is like the 5G concerns, right? So like, do you think like people posing the 5G concerns, are they like realistic? Like, I know I've heard a lot of stories. I've also myself listened to like some podcasts talking about 5G, like where they talk about how it's causing coronavirus. Like, is that a thing? Right? So
Oh.
like there's a lot of theories like that. Like people think that because of 5G towers, it's causing a lot of diseases and a lot of things like that. Do you guys think like is that real or is that just things so people can be popular or something like that? Like what do you guys think?
Philip, you want to take this one?
Well, to be honest, I don't think technology can really like things such as 5G, for example, like as we're on that topic. I personally don't think that has the power to spread coronavirus to an extent. I feel
Yeah.
like it's obviously hoax, things that are made up by different people in power to like cover up either their tracks or to obviously discourage the move towards 5G, right? Because the minute the world like starts depending fully on 5G, a lot of different like Wi-Fi people, like like different what's it called, internet service providers, different companies will have to obviously shift over, which is going to be expensive, right? Because 5G obviously being one of the latest technologies, that's going to be like one of the latest components in network. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really expensive. So many people are creating different lies and fake news, I would say, just to push 5G to the side. Technology, yes, you can use technology to create diseases, but 5G network does not spread corona for sure.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have no idea how many WhatsApp videos I've gotten from my parents saying 5G is bad.
Yeah,
Like,
like
it's been so
it's
bad. Like, the data on that is kind of like been all over the place to a point that I believe people in the UK are burning down
towers,
valuable
yeah.
and very expensive equipment.
Yes, yeah, I've heard of that too. Like in the podcast I was talking about, like that was like their topic that they just started off with is like people burning down, taking down towers, taking down like expensive equipment that companies have installed, and like things like that. Like I don't know, like maybe some radiation or something like that could be caused by 5G. Like they probably have to look into that type, but like the coronavirus allegation is I think completely false. It's just people trying to get popular, people trying to get popular after these things. And I feel like 5G will be soon implemented like everywhere. Like you've seen it. Like some phones, like newer phones, like the Samsung Note 20, it has a 5G version, and like also the S20 has it, I believe. So like things like that are getting those versions out. So I feel like soon in the coming years it'll be as common as 4G right now.
And in relation to the corona thing, right? I was just like looking into it. And what people are saying is that 5G suppresses your immune system, right? And as you mentioned, the radiation aspect also comes into play, and that's what's promoting the COVID spread. But then again, there's no fact or there's no case, like actual case, where they can connect both those things together. Like there has been no incidents so far, right? It's just conspiracies, as we said, that people are just making up, and the vast majority just tends to believe these things, and then they react and act as I believe one of you said, like they were burning down towers and expensive things, right? So like the people just go off on that, like conspiracy theories.
Right. So the thing with that again is I believe, as you said, I think it's going to take a bit more time for it to be available across. Does Canada have a place? Like, is any provider in Canada testing out
Yeah,
5G?
I believe,
Bell
yeah, Bell,
Rogers are
yeah.
Bell
Okay,
and Rogers, yeah.
so I guess it's just gonna take a bit time. Again, not all the phones that we have are able to connect to 5G networks, and considering how reliable we are on our technological devices, it's going to be definitely hard to transition over because we heavily rely on the hardware we have right now. So going out to buy a new phone or buy a new computer with Wi-Fi capabilities that can connect to 5G networks is definitely going to be a harder thing to transition to. But I believe that's where the future is going to. So I think that is the last thing we have to talk about today. And we will, again, just to keep everyone in their heads up, we will try to keep our podcast to 30 minutes max. Well, today's might be a bit off because, again, pilot, we're testing things out.
Yeah.
um,
So
Shashwat, you want to continue?
yeah, I think that's it. Next time, like we're gonna have people over. So we're trying to get, as we said at the start of the podcast, upper years, professors, maybe people who work in the tech industry already. So we're gonna try to keep up these podcasts. Like we don't want to promise anything, but we want to do like like more podcasts than just one. So
And if you guys have any like recommendations in terms of people you want to see from different fields that are currently working, please do drop that in the comments. We'll look into making that happen as well for the upcoming podcasts.
100%, 100%. And I believe that's it, right, guys?
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
That's it. And for our socials, we will be posting this on our social. We'll be having this on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube at Stark Enterprises. We will be putting that page up soon. We will have our website, which is under constructions. Links will be soon provided. And our Instagram, which is at Stark Tutors as well, which again will also be provided. Thank you guys. And with that, my name is Mevin.
I'm Philip.
I'm Sasha.
And this has been our first episode of